In this episode, the Soulseekers team travel to the historical town of Pevensey in East Sussex on the southern coast of England. They're there to investigate the town's infamous courthouse. They arrive with the sole intention of trying to provide evidence of the paranormal. Dating back as late as the 1500s, the gruesome history of the building is almost unparalleled in comparison with many of the team's investigations. However, Soulseekers meet with Jeff Dent, museum curator and a local in Pevensey, for an insight into this historical location. The history of the building.
Hi Jeff, thanks for inviting us to the Pevensey Courthouse.
It's been a pleasure.
Can you tell us how old this building is?
Yes, this was built in the time of Henry VIII, about 1540-41, and it replaced whatever was here when King John created the charter for Pevensey, and that was in 1207. There must have been something here then, but we just don't know. Probably a wattle and daub job. Certainly no prison, because they didn't bother with that sort of thing and just stuck them in the stocks.
Do you have any idea how many people have passed through this building?
I think the court cases were every 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't an ongoing thing. But then we have records from the Pevensey parish and West Ham parish, which is the other side of the castle. And from their records, there were a fair number of people drowned in the ditches and got shot by accident and that sort of thing. But the criminal side of things, the earliest record goes back to 1356. And that states that any free man of the borough who is condemned to death was excused being hung. Really? It was a privilege. Instead of being hung, he had his wrists and his ankles tied together, and he would then be thrown into the sea off Pevensey Bridge, which is just down there by the traffic lights.
No kidding.
The idea was that drowning was quicker than hanging, because hanging literally was just that.
Right.
Hence the expression, let's pull his leg, because that was a quick end to the hanging.
Interesting. Very interesting. So there are 3 cells here, is that correct?
2 at the moment, but there is foundations through the wall there. When they built the house next door for the jailer, there are foundations in there of another half dozen. Oh. So it must have been a pretty busy place.
I bet. I understand one of your colleagues had a strange experience downstairs in one of the cells. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, one of my friends, she sat in the cell, and the girl beside her had an infrared camera, and when she held her hands out like that, a cascade of what they call ghost lights arrived on them, and she actually felt them. Really? And the one with the camera said, "I'm never going to mock again." So, you know, there's definitely things go on here. A party that were in here, one of the men suddenly became aware of marching feet going down the high street. Really? Which rattled me a bit, because a friend of mine who used to live opposite, he one day heard marching feet going up the high street. And he looked out, of course, and there was nothing, and it faded away in the distance. And I spoke to his son after I'd heard this second reference to it. I said, "What about that then?" Well, he said, "Oh, I think it's a load of rubbish. I think Dad just heard a motorbike across the marsh." But I don't think so, because Dad had been in the Welsh Guards and he knew what marching feet sounded like.
Thank you so much for having us, and we'll let you know what we discover.
Sarah Jane, the sensitive of the team, takes a walkabout with guest medium Ed Hutton, whilst Woody talks with Brian Lambert, another member of the Pevensey Courthouse team. Sarah and Ed talk of their first impressions of the building, and of anything they pick up before the investigations begin.
As I'm walking into the atmosphere now, I am picking up quite a lot of paranormal activity that's been going on. I can hear like clicking, murmuring. There's a lot of noise that people are going to take in as feelings. And as I just feel very attracted to this area if we could go by this passageway. And what I am picking up on is a male energy, and he's very crouched down. He'll be crouched down, and then you listen to what people are saying, but he's not looking up and seeing what people are saying verbally. He's left it to him. He's very sad and he feels like he's got a lot of guilt and a lot of remorse for what he's done. So I feel he is here for the wrong reasons. Okay. As we're just walking around here, I'm being very aware of a female energy, and this female energy would be somebody that was put in the docks for the wrong reasons. And I also feel that she was put in the docks for the wrong reasons because there was a lot of like Freemasons causing the church to prosecute her and find her guilty for something she didn't do. And I feel in a nearby area of this courthouse, nice area, I feel that she was hung. And I can feel that she was hung. And I'm taken back from the area. I can't see you guys, I can't see anybody around here. All I can see, there were changes in this structure of the house, if I may say that, and what have you.
Because I pick up the same thing.
Yes.
I pick up there's something missing from this place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also feel I can hear a lot of gavel, hence the name, with it being a courthouse, you have gavel, but I can hear people, judges talking amongst themselves, and I feel there may have been a group of people huddled into a corner, maybe a jury, I don't know at this present time, but what I do know is that there's been a lot of action taken in this room against people who were innocent.
Yeah, I get the same thing. Yeah, I also get, like, there was 3 men,
Right.
and these were significant men. There might have been other people in the room,
Right.
but these 3 men
Absolutely, yes.
were significant.
Yes.
And I also pick up the sound of footsteps, heavy boots in this room. Yeah. And the one thing that I keep picking up is like the feeling of being stabbed in my stomach here, and I feel it was someone, not of a prisoner, but a prisoner stabbing someone in authority. This is what I'm feeling. Should we move to this room now?
Yes, if we may.
Hi Brian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The mediums and the sensitives, they've gone around on their walkabout now. Tell me just quickly just what your role is within the Courthouse Museum.
My role within the courthouse is on a Friday night and a Saturday night. I come down here to try and raise some funds to allow people to come and experience the paranormal happenings within the building that's been going on for a good few years now.
Okay. Okay. How long have you been doing that?
Recently, I'd say for about 3 months with here helping out, getting involved to start to get things moving.
Yeah, sure. So you're aware of all the kind of paranormal happenings that have happened within the courthouse and the reported stuff that's gone on?
I've started to learn some of the patterns which go on within the building. So there's quite a few different things that sort of change and sort of happen within the periods of weeks or days, sort of thing within here.
One thing I picked up in here when we first walked in was a female figure standing at this door watching me. That was the very first thing I felt. I don't know if you felt the same. And also a big A, feels like Annie, name Annie.
Well, as we are walking into the atmosphere, leaving this room, I am picking up a lot of audible noises. I'm hearing clanging, so there's metal clanging. This room, I feel, would be a room where they keep storage. Hence what we can see around us. A lot of activity has happened in here. I'm hearing children crying. I can hear children crying, but I am not sure at this present time, Sarah, what the crying is about. But I feel they were abused by a male and a female.
Okay.
And I also feel with the connection of this male and female abusing these children was something they didn't do. And I think people would pick up on scratching in the leg. And if not just that, but I would also feel that people would feel there is a child in there. And I think in this area, there has been reported, I don't know, of people crying, physical people crying in this room. They feel...
I pick a little boy up here, and
Right,
the name I
yes.
get with him is Thomas.
Right.
But I don't think he's actually here all the time. I think he moves around the jail, because I think that he's grounded in these days and he's quite happy here. And the other thing is this, you see the scales of justice, they keep moving by themselves. Obviously I've just touched it, but they do physically move up and down by themselves. And in here earlier, when Woody was in with his EMF meter, we picked up, responding to my voice, a little boy, we managed to get the meter up to 9. So
And that I would class it to be poltergeistal activity, and you could be thinking on the right lines there, Sarah. There would be a lot of paranormal activity, what I'd like to call poltergeistal activity, which involves the presence of children, making
I don't think
noise
they're poltergeists. I think that they're just playing.
No.
You know, they do things and they're just playing, and obviously people are picking this up, like the movement of these scales.
What are some of the reported paranormal happenings?
Well, some of the reports that I've had back within the building, you hear footsteps that sort of creep along. There's dragging, like a loud bang, and people being dragged out from in here. In the robing room, which is just over there, you've got some scales that seem to move, and you get some readings off them. On the wall behind, there's like a chicken, sort of old-fashioned spit roast thing, which are moved by itself within here. But the main thing that we seem to constantly experience within here, the groups, is the unhappy feelings, and also very, very cold spots which seem to come and go, and an unpleasant smell of alcohol, or even like nasty, the easiest way to display, where someone's laid in their own sort of, where they've been in the cells, where they would have been dragged up. But there's tappings on the wall, there's doors that slam, people sort of being grabbed and feel to be choked within the building. That's just within the courtroom.
And personally, have you had any experiences here within the court?
Within the courthouse, I've seen, which I see can explain as the jailer. I've actually done a leaflet with a drawing which I've drawn of the jailer, which walks around, is quite aggressive. I've seen a young lady that stands at the door and sort of comes in about 3 or 4 feet, but doesn't seem to go any further. And I've picked up on one of the presence of a child that seems to run around and move stuff, hide stuff, and so it seems to want to play with, you see what I mean, the easiest way of putting it, like that.
So we're in for an active night, you would say?
I very much hope so, within here and also downstairs within the cells, where it's very active in the cells.
Okay, we'll see what we can find then.
I feel like there's a male energy in there that's quite aggressive, and I think he could be aggressive to anyone, but I feel that he's more aggressive towards women. And that corner over there, I don't know why, I just get the feeling of being choked or hung, you know, like something around my throat, which is just that corner though. Don't know why I picked that up in that corner, but definitely something around my throat.
The team begin their investigation in the main courtroom as Gil begins a lone vigil down in the cells, the most recognised area for strange activity.
Calling on any ghost or spirit or astral being that's present in this building. Please step forward. Use the energy of all the people in this room and make yourself known to us by doing something so we know that you're here. Make a loud noise. Talk to somebody. Touch somebody here. Anything you can do. Let us know that you're here.
Today, you know, the most, like, I feel really ill. Oh, I get it now. Down in that room at the end, where I was getting that choking feeling, yeah, that was where they were led up, wasn't it?
That's right, they came through here.
Okay, because they came up and probably never went back down because they were hung.
That's right.
You know, like something around my throat, which is just that corner though.
Because the dock used to be here and they would bring the
Does anybody
stairs
know
into that
whether
room.
That's why I was getting that choking feeling.
see there's all these banisters? Was anybody hung?
There was
Because I'm seeing people swinging.
yes, on these rafters, on the beams, over there and behind us, they used to hang them. Remember earlier on we could hear the rope? when it was
I
on
can
the-
see several people swinging.
Yeah, that's what they did on the
It'd be like one next to the other.
That's just disgusting, isn't it?
It is. And it didn't matter whether they were adults or children, they would hang them from there. And we heard the rope going.
Yeah, did you not hear the rope? It was like,
Yeah.
that's just really bad.
I thought that was moving then. So.
You want it?
That's alright, I'm okay. I'll keep talking to you.
Just don't let him in, you can block him.
Can you do something in the other room?
Yeah, do something to Gil. Touch him. Go and touch Gil. He's all on his own down there. Go down there and tap on the doors or the walls. No, it's one of these.
Is it not working now?
It's working, but I don't know which is the flash.
Flashing the light.
It's supposed to be that one. For some reason it's not working. And I can't figure out why. Unless it's interfering with the camera.
It might be. Because the camera.
Oh my god! Me, sorry.
What's the matter?
Someone called me.
What?
Really clear.
What?
So I got a man. But it was so clear it frightened me then.
It might be. Because the camera. Because the camera.
Oh my god!
All right, here I am downstairs in the cell area. There's 2 cells down here. As you can see, it's pitch black. So what I plan on doing, I'm going to set up this lock-off camera out here in the corridor with infrared to see if it picks up anything. In the meantime, I'm going to go in the cell here. I understand that the record time that anybody's ever spent in this cell is 15 minutes without begging to come out. So I've got another camera I'll take in with me, thermometer, some various other equipment. I'll take some still shots and see if I can pick up anything. If you can hear me, I'd appreciate if you could let me know that you can and that you're here and that you understand me by making a noise. If you could say something, or tap on something, or even touch me, I'd really appreciate that. Keep hearing a knocking noise, almost like a footstep. If that's you making the noise, can you do it again for me, but louder, please? There it is again.
Can you do something in the other room?
Yeah, do something to Gil. Touch him. Go and touch Gil. He's all on his own down there.
What was that? So many people must have spent time in here just before they died. I imagine quite a few died right in this cell. Even up until World War II, they kept German soldiers in here until they could be picked up. Keep hearing the footsteps. It's gone down to 9 degrees, but it's probably just normal temperature drop since it's getting later. It just feels like it's freezing in here. I really shouldn't see my breath at 9 degrees. Don't know if you can see that. I'm absolutely freezing. If there's somebody in here with me now, please make a noise. Or touch me. It feels even colder now. Really bad chills. Temperature is 9.5. This doesn't feel like 9.5.
Woody goes alone to the courtroom to check out the scales of justice. For years it has been documented that they often move unassisted, as if something is slowly rocking them. Before setting up a lock-off camera to hopefully witness this phenomena, Woody takes a minute to investigate a noise he heard in this particular area.
I think there is a tapping, is there? I'm not quite sure where it's coming from though. That's you that's tapping, make it louder. Let me know where you are in this room. That's in here. Yep, still going. Basically, I'm in the courthouse, sitting on the magistrate's bench, and I'm getting what I hope it's picking it up on the actual camera, but I'm getting it's like a rapid tapping, and it seems that it's not just from one area in the actual courthouse, it's from several areas. It's like it's moving around. I hope it's picking up the sound on it. But I'm hoping that that's a prelude to something bigger.
The following is what they found upon review of the locked-off footage. You can clearly see a slow swaying on the scales. In order to highlight this to you, in the edit we have enhanced the frame rate to make this movement more visible.
Okay guys, what do you think about tonight then?
Yeah, good night.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Good place this is.
Definitely. For me, kind of done a vigil up here in the court house and in the robing room. Had lots of bangings in there. I heard a noise in the robing room, which I then went into, asked for the weighing scales, asked if the spirit could move them, and they started moving basically, which was good, which we got on camera, and I then heard what sounded like a bang on the window, which, considering we're kind of a story up, is feet for somebody to bang on the window. But yeah, really good, really enjoyed it.
When we first got here, we got the same response on the scales of justice, and the EMF meter was picking up a reading on there when there's no electricity around. So that was very impressive.
Yeah, because when we were in there together, we got up to 9, didn't we, at one point?
Yeah, but I mean, the actual EMF readings were kind of really strange, because around the actual scales there's no kind of reading at all, but then where the actual scales are in that area, there is like really high. You go a bit lower towards the floor and the reading drops off again, so it's actually in like a triangular kind of area basically, so that's quite interesting, quite, yeah.
Well, I've picked up
Unexplainable.
loads here today, and I don't know, if you could confirm any of the things that I picked up.
Well, a lot of the stuff that you mentioned tonight as well, I've been sort of standing in the background listening, it's been very good and pretty much spot on with the activity and the names that we're aware of that have come forward, But no, it's been very interesting to see a team come in and sort of highlight some of the stuff with not even more, giving us more sort of evidence that paranormal activity is going on here, which is really good. And we're really grateful. Very pleased. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having us here.
Anytime.
Hope to come back again really soon, don't
Yeah,
you?
we sure do.
Yeah.
We sure do.
Join the team next time as they continue their journey into the world of the paranormal. Sweet dreams.
The old little playing in the up there.